Nice media setup, JD.
Yeah, don't give me any credit for this. Alex, why don't you go ahead with the first question?
Archie, any updates on Jerome and how he's progressing as kind of the summer's gone along?
Yeah, Jerome finished our summer program, and he pretty much participated in everything that we did. Very little setbacks. Obviously, it's a less intense program, just in terms of contact and all of the banging that goes into the actual season. But he's getting ready to start off this fall with the same sort of program, where he continues to listen to the doctors and the plan that they put on him as a rehab perspective. He's cleared, obviously, to do everything that he can do with us. And I think it's just kind of a wait and see day by day each week as we add things. And, the fall or our preseason gets pretty intense to see what he can handle. And, if he needs some time to step away, to rest, recover, whatever that may be, he's got to be honest with that. But we're pleased. He's in a good way personally. And, as we get ready to get started, we had our first sort of team workout of the fall today, and he did a nice job. And, he's nervous. He's anxious. He's excited. And it's good to see a guy like him have that smile and that eagerness to be a part of what's going on. Anytime you deal with any type of an injury and you have to sit and you're removed from activities, it's frustrating. So it's good to see him smile and be in a good, positive way this fall so far.
How's he dealt with the mental aspect of that? Because you take something away from somebody that they've loved.
It's very, very difficult. And in particular, guys handle it in different ways. And, for a guy like him, basketball means a lot to him. It's something that's been a part of his life. One of the reasons he's able to do what he's doing right now in school, pursuing a degree, has a lot to do with the game of basketball. So all of our guys, but in particular him, you take that thing away from them for the very first time, and they have to realize there's more to what's going on than just the game. You watch them adjust, you watch them handle adversity in certain ways, and with all ups and downs, emotional highs and lows, I thought he did a good job. And he worked really hard. He didn't have a normal, hey, I sprained my ankle type of a rehab. He had a lot different type of rehab, which was a lot of trial and error and listening to doctors and trainers. And, sometimes you don't see the initial fruits of that type of a rehab. So you have to be patient. And he was. And he's in, like I said, he's in the best place that he could possibly be right now.
I'm going to start down here.
What does Coach Roberts bring to the table?
I'm sorry, I missed the question. Can you repeat it?
Coach Roberts, your new assistant?
Oh, yes. We're really, really excited. We took our time as a staff, and me in particular really took our time, and not only doing our research about the perfect fit for what I want and what I want around our players right now and what we could do to make ourselves better. Mike fit all of those boxes. One, he's a relentless worker. I think if you just study him as a player, and then as his career has unfolded, where he's been, whether that's been a graduate assistant with Coach Knight at Texas Tech or working his way up at California in the Pac-10, moving on to Rice, and then establishing UNC Greensboro here over the last 7 years as associate head coach and building a program. He's been involved in a lot, but he's really a grinder in terms of the way that he works. He also has a lot of toughness about him. He's a competitive guy, and I think when you come to Indiana, one of the things that I really have learned to appreciate is a fearlessness. A person that wants to be a part of what's going on at IU, and in particular the basketball program and that tradition sometimes can, put a little bit of fear in you, like, wow, I didn't realize it was this important or this big of a deal. It is. And Mike being able to walk in those shoes as a player, follow Indiana as a fellow coach in the business, and understand that this is where his heart lies, and he's not afraid of that. That's important. That was a very important decision in finalizing that last step. But he's a proven recruiter. He's a proven developer. Takes a lot of pride in our players, which I like. And, he's he's been with us a couple days, already made a big imprint on me. And being able to get him in the fold full scale and bringing his family back to Bloomington is really, really exciting.
Coach, a lot of IU faithful here in the Tri-State. Just talk about, they're so excited to see you and to hear you speak. Just talk about how excited you are and what fans can get out of tonight.
I am excited. I love Evansville. I really do. It's been one of the places that I've really enjoyed coming down to in my recruiting. the people that I've met here in terms of being not only in town and obviously back on campus. I can get that feeling like I do a lot of places in the state, but in particular Southern Indiana and moving over here, that there's great passion for not only our program, but Indiana University in general. And I think, when you look at the history of our program, it doesn't hurt that Calbert Cheney came out of this town, came out of this school, and had the career that he had, which speaks volumes. And like I say, everywhere I go, we're looking for that next great one. And we're hoping that Evansville one day can bring a young guy to our program, and he can add to the tradition and whatnot.
Coach, you got a couple open scholarships and some big visits coming up over the next several weeks. Talk about your recruiting, where you are, and how you feel about that.
Recruiting is never ending, and it's nonstop. And on the way down, you figure more out about recruiting. On the way back tonight, we'll find out more. It never stops. And we're in a place right now where we're really trying to identify needs, skill level, competitiveness, championship players coming from championship programs are things that we want. And each and every time we feel there's a guy that we bring to our campus and we want him, we have an unbelievable sell, because we have an unbelievable campus. We have an unbelievable school. What's going on in just the last 24 months that I've been around in terms of facilities is incredible. So it's a lot of positives. And once they are able to visit, campus, the city, Bloomington, just in general, it's you leave with a great impression. So we're in a good place, and we have a lot of work to do, but that doesn't change. That never stops.
Coach, just back to, I had a question about Coach Roberts. What does bringing a guy that used to play for Indiana, what does that bring to your team and your players, and what you try to preach to your guys about where they want to go, and for a guy that in a lot of ways has been where they want to go?
Well, I think being a player at Indiana is different than a lot of places. I think, it doesn't really matter where you go. You have unique experiences, but being at Indiana is different. It's a whole different ball of wax, and until you walk through those shoes and understand what it's like to play there, win there, lose there, be there every day, you really can't get a grip on it. And like Mike told me, I was on a national championship team in 2002 that played for it all. I was also on the first team, I think, that had a losing season in 33 years. I've seen it on both ends as a player. And, that resonated with me a little bit, to have a guy that had that perspective, because it's hard. In this day and age, it's a lot different even than he was there. Players and student athletes in general, what they go through on a daily basis right now with the media scrutiny or social media aspects of things, the exposure that they have, there's just a lot of attention given, and there's a lot that they have to absorb. So to have a guy that's been through it, that can talk them through different experiences that he's been through, is only an advantage.
I know every team kind of feels different now that the new guys are kind of integrated into everything. How does this one feel? What's their identity, you think?
I like our team. Our team has a great deal of versatility, and our strength obviously is in our size. And just in getting to know these guys and talking to them, humility is going to be a great deal for this team. A humble group that's willing to work, that's willing to care, about, maxing its potential. And that's what we've talked about a lot over the summer, but more importantly, as we've started off this fall, that's been the theme of things, is having great humility as a group. But it's a group I think has good versatility, barring, great health. Every player on our team should anticipate being a part of a winning culture and having an anticipation that they can impact that thing, every day. There's not a guy that I look at and say, boy, he's got his work cut out for him in terms of getting to the floor. Everybody has an opportunity to play. Now, to earn that and develop that chemistry and culture that a team has to have to go through a season, a long season, we have to work towards that. But we have a good group of guys, and I think as we get ready to get started here this fall, it's a lot less about the bells and the whistles or the games down the road. It's really about the humble approach that we have every day, and got off to a good start, and looking forward to tomorrow.
Coach Roberts, does he have a specific position group that he's going to focus with, and is it offensive or defensive side of the floor that he's scouting focus?
The great thing about Mike is he's wore a lot of hats. He's coached big guys. He's developed a lot of big guys. If you look at his track record through his time at Cal and at Rice, he's coached NBA players. He's been able to develop guys on the way in, freshman, sophomore, junior years that have played in the NBA. He's also been a guy that's really been an extension of the head coach. They've been able to focus in on the defensive side of the ball, developing an offense at Greensboro, The development that they've had there with some of the guys they've recruited from overseas has been really, really unique. And I think he wears a lot of hats. I think as Mike comes in for us, obviously recruiting is priority one, him being able to get his feet on the ground and then impact what we're doing with his advantages and who he has at his fingertips. And then his development, you know, being able to work with different types of players, not just big guys, but being able to work with a lot of different guys. And then as he learns how we do things in our system, you know, defensively, offensively, there's going to be some tweaks, but I think that, you know, as we look at some things, Mike's going to have a hand in everything that we do.
Your two freshmen, have they adapted and developed over the summer? What are your hopes in terms of their contribution during the course of the season?
Well, Trace Jackson Davis and Armand Franklin have both done a really nice job of really stepping 2 feet in on the campus and buying in. You know, it's not a huge class. You know, last year at this point in time, we had 5 true freshmen on campus at one time. That's difficult to navigate early in August and September, October. These 2 guys are further ahead because they have a little bit of an older element around them, but they've also been really, really low maintenance in terms of what their approach has been. Academically, they're off to a good start. Both in the weight room have made significant gains. Trace has really taken his conditioning as a young front court player to a different level as he's been in the past. His body's changed. And Armand's put on size here early, which he'll continue to have to do as he gets older, bigger, stronger. But they've done a great job in those 2 areas. And then on the court, just, you know, being willing learners and listeners, watching them. Both guys have a good feel. Both come from really good programs, have been coached in high school. And I think that you know, they both obviously have bright futures, and we love that they're here. I think they can both really contribute and add an impact to our team this season.
So, Coach, we got to deal with all these UK fans around here. I mean, there's just a few of them. I personally think UK's scared to play us. That's my way of looking at it. But when can we get that game on the schedule? Is that something that's being looked at?
Yeah, you know,
give an update on that.
Yeah, since I got the job, you know, it's always been a hot topic, not only with our fans and the media and both universities. It's always been a topic, and it continues to be on the table. I think our administration has done a great job in dealing with, number one, our staff, talking about it daily, talking about it, you know, yearly. What's the approach with our future schedules? That's always been online. And then the communication with both administrations has been pretty much ongoing. You know, I hope and we hope, and I believe that Kentucky hopes as well, that game will reemerge and it'll be a part of both teams' schedule. When that happens, really has to deal with 2 people doing what's best for them. But I do think there's an ongoing dialogue daily that's something that both Indiana and Kentucky wants. And I know from our administration standpoint and our staff, that would be something that would be huge for the buzz in state, our fan bases and whatnot. It's one of those things that I think college basketball needs more of.
Okay, Jeff, you've got time for one more question, so if you want to get it in.
He was late. He doesn't get to
Okay.
talk to anybody.
All right. You'll
You know,
be
you're
able
not
to get all
allowed
his comments for the fans out there. Appreciate you guys coming out tonight. Okay,
All good?
Yep.
Thank you.